So I'll just quickly run through and probably make it a conversation in the next 5 to 10 minutes as we wait for Jane and others. So basically, for the benefit of everyone, we are going to have a full membership briefing on the 12th of September to cover the key issues and to ensure everybody is on board regarding what we are trying to do. So the organization Leadership and Development Network is working with different institutions that are committed to driving the OD and leadership mission and ensure that we develop leaders who are transformational, we develop individuals who are future focused and want to see development at self, at family, organizational, and societal levels. So we are an affiliate of the International Society for Organization Development and Change. They are supporting us in everything that we do. We are also having affiliates of the Business Growth Incubation Center in South Africa, BIMTRAC Consulting in the UAE, Higher Thinkers Global in Botswana, DB Consulting in Nigeria, and DB Consulting is overseeing the Joe Marine affiliation. And these are new institutions that have a mandate, a strong mandate of moving the field of OD and leadership forward. So in terms of our mission, I'm not going to touch the code mission and the OLDQ mission because of time, but as Organization Leadership and Development Network, we exist to bring together professionals and scholars to deliberate and debate on key issues that are affecting our communities, our families, and individuals. And we do create a platform for information exchange like we are doing now, where we bring different scholars and different practitioners together to share their areas of comfort. And in doing so, profile every member as an international practitioner or an international scholar. So we are building this network or this community with a mission to have people who speak into real issues in society and move societies forward. And we are bringing the entire globe into one. That's why our mission is not a Zimbabwe mission, it's not a Nigerian mission, neither is it an Indian mission, but it's a global mission to discuss on these particular issues. And also providing a platform for peer mentorship. That's why we are receiving the MIIR submissions and other members who then conduct the peer review and ensure the development of other members. So we have different international directors that we have currently instituted or appointed to drive the mission forward. And fully, we are in Nigeria with Dr. Dotun, in Zimbabwe, of course, and Nigeria, we have Dr. Dotun. India, we have Dr. Preethi and Dr. Sharma. Zimbabwe, we have Ms. Kurai. Kenya, we have Ms. Jane. Mr. Tosin in UAE, Mr. Emmanuel in Botswana, and also Mr. Paul Mapasure in South Africa. And the whole idea is to start having customized conversations in each country and ensure that people meet and deliberate on issues affecting each individual in their career ambition, and also the issues that are affecting the country, and then relating it to what is happening in other countries. So we need to start seeing a lot of collaboration between different countries and discussions going forward. And we are mainly focused on organization development, leadership, talent management, and basically education and training, with a view to advance real practice in terms of leadership, real practice in terms of the OD principles. And our focus is on global intelligence, diversity and inclusion, networking, igniting conversations, not only on platforms like this, but even when people go back into their areas of work, we need people to start ignite conversations that develop or awaken professionals. awaken or enlighten scholars about the real issues that are affecting society today. And we have a number of benefits. In most professional bodies, they send newsletters, and they rarely do conversations like we are trying to push. And that is our unique selling point, where we need to ensure every member is engaged in what we do, and we need to ensure that every member is developing in their career and they are achieving something with regards to their careers. We need members to be of influence, impact, and to inspire others in society. We need members to be authentic in an environment which is telling people to act otherwise. We need members to be courageous, to be curious, and to have compassion. And above all, we need members to show love and to work. And this is the thing that the OLDN network or community focuses on, other than other egoistic titles that we might get. We need every member to demonstrate influence, to demonstrate impact, and to be authentic in whatever they do. We have a CPPD assessment. We'll cover this in detail on the 12th of September, where we expect every member to engage and get into conversations with peers and ensure that we develop. A lot of professionals we see out there, there is no much development. They are only tied in certain routines, but we want members to continually develop. That's why we have a 24 standard CPPD scheme and 6 member impact influence reflections to get every member engaged. And surprisingly, we have managed to receive, I think, about 12, and much of what we have received are coming from the people we consider as superior in our group. We have received from CEOs, we have received from directors. They have taken the effort to do the MIIR. And we need every member to prioritize these particular activities. And also, we have different activities which we have done and will continue to do. We are currently finalizing the 2020 calendar, after which we'll start working on the 2021 calendar of activities and ensuring that our activities are engaging, they are enlightening, and they bring value to the members. And also having that global impact in terms of whatever we are doing. We are currently having members in about 13 countries, and we're continuing to push. Dr. Dotun will be inviting international directors from all other countries as we start to establish ourselves in every other country there is and make an impact in all these countries. Upcoming events, next week we have Mr. Emmanuel Nyang, who will be speaking about his book, On Every Step. Mr. Emmanuel is from Botswana, and he's the International Director of Botswana. He is leading the Botswana team. We also have the 2020 Organization Development and Leadership Masterclass, which will be facilitated by ISODC and Ms. Tina from Nigeria. And the idea is to get people to understand OD and its multidisciplinary nature and why we are advancing this particular field. We will also have a conversation about organization development and the use of self. And this will be led by Dr. Roland Livingstone, who is the President Emeritus of the International Society for Organization Development and Change. Ms. Anita Singh from India, but she's based in Abu Dhabi. And the host will be Mr. Paul Mapasure from South Africa. After which we'll have Nicole Heyman from Switzerland on the 31st of October with Dr. Fadei Olatunji and hosted by Ms. Kurai. And in November, we are going to have, end of September, we are going to have an HR conversation, which will be led by Dr. Dotun and Mr. Salau, Mr. Hassan from Afghanistan, and Tsitsi from Zimbabwe. We are finalizing the discussion with Ms. Sasha Fali from the US on for the 14th of November, and Professor Jamison confirmed his availability to discuss the use of self towards the end of November. And as we close the 2020 year, we are going to have a spirituality in OD and leadership conversation. And we have, I think, Pastor Mike among us, and other Christian leaders and Muslim leaders, as we also promote religious tolerance. So we need to have a spirituality in OD and leadership conversation on the 12th of December, integrating the different religions and promoting religious tolerance. So Dr. Dotun will be facilitating the presentations from a Christian perspective, Muslim perspective, and other religions that we have, so that we promote that religious tolerance. So this will be the end of our 2020 calendar by the 12th of December. And we would welcome other contributions in terms of activities that we can do within the next year. To avoid wasting much time, I will ask Dr. Dotun to comment briefly, just 1 or 2 minutes, about our mission and what we are trying to achieve before we hand over to Jane to take us through today's proceeding. Dr. Dotun.
Thank you very much, Dr. Justin, for this detailed presentation and for summarizing the essence of OLDN, and also as part of effort to advance the cause of OD, we are currently in quite a number of countries, and we are making effort to ensure that this visibility is also entrenched in other parts of the world. Just as I already said, we are making effort to ensure that the use of self is predominantly evidence amongst members and directors, as well as all other disciples of OLDN. And as we advance further, we covet everyone's commitment, enthusiasm, readiness to shoulder this and ensure that they are ably representing what we stand for in their field of endeavors, in their profession, in their community, in their country, in their religion, and wherever they find themselves. They should be able to represent OLDN through advancing the theory and practice of OD and leadership. Thank you very much, and I welcome everyone here present. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll give Mr. Emmanuel a perspective from Botswana. Mr. Emmanuel from Botswana, then I'll move to Kurai and also Dr. Preethi, just your understanding of our mission before we start. Mr. Emmanuel.
Everyone here, I would say we are on the mission. We are really behind the mission. And then conversations like this are what makes us achieve the mission that we want to at the end of the day. So I'm happy that today we are gathered here under the same umbrella of achieving the OLD mission. Now, let's rally behind the mission, and I really appreciate you all here. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Kurai.
Good day, everybody. I think for me, it's all about, my appreciation is about the beginning to ignite conversations and to be able to contribute, and the continuous learning that the organization advocates for. So I think that is one thing that we are looking forward to, and just the growth of the organization and making impact. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Dr. Preethi. I think she's rejoining. Yeah, Jane.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Justine. Hello, everyone. Depending on the time zone, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I would like to start by introducing myself. My name is Jane. I am from Kenya, but currently based in Abu Dhabi. I am a retail supervisor and an MBA student in Baxter University. I am also the appointed leader for OLND Kenyan chapter, and I'm really humbled to set the platform for the amazing Dr. Preethi, all the way from India, who is going to make a presentation on social entrepreneurship. Your time is valued and you're all welcomed. So when you think of the word social entrepreneurship, we can break it down into two. The social aspect basically refers to something relating to the society. For instance, we are a social network as we are here. And the word entrepreneurship, which I describe as the ability to sense and act on opportunity. We can all agree that social entrepreneurship has become a fashionable construct in the recent years and has been evidenced by success stories globally in different fields. We can talk about health, we can talk about education, we can talk about finance, the list can go on. But then that leads to the question of how does this, the social entrepreneurship, relate to leaders, and how does that relate to organization development? A study was submitted to Harvard Business Review in June 2020 by Lily Zhang, who was shedding some light on how we are entering into the age of corporate social justice, a framework regulated by the trust between a company and its employees, customers, shareholders, and the broader community it touches, which is the goal of explicitly doing good by all of them. OD talks about change and working towards achieving greatness by developing, improving, and reinforcing strategies, structures, and processes. Therefore, as leaders who are ambassadors for OD, we need to realize that consumers, stakeholders, and the community at large, they want companies that see good as a social necessity and not just as a marketing strategy. Besides, we cannot give a blind eye to the social things that are such as rape, racism that are going on around us. So without further ado, please help me welcome Dr. Preethi, a woman I admire. She's currently an assistant professor at Department of Commerce in India. She holds 2 postgraduate degrees. She has presented 135 plus papers in international and national conferences and has published 56 articles in reputed journals. Dr. Preethi is a life coach and a counselor, a multiple Best Paper Award winner, a social scientist, and a HR expert. I could go on and on and on, but because of time, please grab a paper and a pen. I know we'll learn a lot. Let's remember to mute our audios to avoid distractions. And if you have any questions, you can post in the group chat or raise your hand. Dr. Preethi, the stage is yours. Thank you.
Yes, Madam Jane, thank you so much for your kind words. It was nice to know you, and so much you have told about me. I have not achieved that much, yet a long way to go. It is nice to speak to all this august audience. Shall I move to the topic that is given to me and the area of interest? Can I share my screen?
Sure.
Yeah. Yes. Is it seen?
Sure.
Fine. So a warm welcome to each one of you, different time zones. So I'll be giving you the great greetings regarding from your places. In India, it is a little, we are nearing 8 o'clock now in the evening, and there it is 4:30. And in some places here and there, so a warm welcome to each one of you. Let me give you today's greetings. In India, we are celebrating today, 15th August, our Independence Day, 74th Independence Day. And this is something very nice for us. One thing that I would like to share before I go further is the color combination of our flag, saffron, white, and green. Saffron stands for courage, sacrifice, white for purity, peace, and green for prosperity and life. And in this entire thing, in the middle, there is a chakra, which is a circle there, and there are 24 spokes, which represents 24 hours of a day, and it has to be continuously moving, and that is growth. And that is definitely signifying our concept also, OLDN, and that is how I thought I would start with this particular concept. So happy Independence Day to all my fellow people in India, and it is nice to speak on this day. Well, we will come to the topic in some time, but let us have a little bit of interaction also. You can put in your chat boxes, because I've put 2 systems here so that I could also get the views. What is this? You could speak, no doubt. Anybody could speak.
That looks like the Eiffel Tower.
Yes, madam. It looks like an Eiffel Tower, but is it Eiffel Tower? Yeah, it's Eiffel Tower, right? Come on.
I believe it does look like
Yes,
the
it
Eiffel
is.
Tower.
Yes, it is. It is. It is an Eiffel Tower in the smaller view. But if I give you a bigger view, what is it? It's a pair of scissors, isn't it? It's a pair of scissors.
Yes, a pair of
So,
scissors, yes.
yeah, yeah. So this is always a difference between a smaller view and a bigger view. So we have various views. Let us wait for the full picture. I have been given up to half an hour plus, and once it is been given, we will have a bigger picture being explored in some time. The concept that I would like to speak on is social entrepreneurship. Small here and there, certain myths involved in that, but it comes under the commerce domain. So coming from this commerce domain, can this commerce field help the world to be a better place? Is my ultimate discussion. And one of the area into this is social entrepreneurship. Fine, we keep it open again. What do you read? What do you read?
It's a signpost that says no way.
No way. Okay. Could you read it further?
Yes. Can I try?
Yes. Yeah.
Now here.
Let everyone. Now here. Okay. So certain people saw it nowhere and certain people see it now here. Fine. This is so nice. It is perfectly right. We'll have a journey from nowhere to now here. Fine. So this is what we shall have an entire journey in this particular presentation of mine. So we are having this journey from nowhere to now here, the entire journey, but I would not go in detail, but we definitely understand the history of human beings, mankind, and it is being put into three periods, ancient, medieval, and modern, because I need to come to commerce. That's a basic tagline of this. So in these three various histories, we are having prehistory and history. Prehistory where there are no written records, and history when you're starting having certain knowledge about how people lived, what is it, so you're having certain inscriptions written. So we have this entire journey of human beings. He started as a hunter, then came to be a food gatherer, then role of a farmer, and from farming we moved on to the trading area. We moved on to the trading area. Fine. So this is how you could see the entire process of nowhere to now here. And that is where trade came in. So when we speak about the earliest societies from Stone Age, we go further into the first civilization. In the Indian subcontinent, it is the Indus Valley civilization. And the first inventions were fire, wheel, metals, we all know about it. But this is how occupations started building up, from pot making, weaving, brick making, tool making. Occupations started coming in. And once occupations started coming in, the exchange of goods, which led to the trade presses, trade centers, villages converting into cities, a civilization coming in, and management in place. So we can understand very clearly, evolution of men led to the evolution of management, and that is how commerce came in, the entire concept of technology. So when commerce comes in, organizations definitely need to be a part of it, and without our knowledge, we are breathing organizations, because most of the time you're born in a hospital, an organization, schoolings, an organization, all our jobs are associated with organizations. Ultimately, you go to a church, temple, mosque, you spoke about religious aspects coming together, an organization. And when I die, when you die, we are all not thrown out unceremoniously, isn't it? There are certain ceremonies, and that also comes from organizations. So without our knowledge, we are gelling ourselves. We are linked to organizations. For example, if I take my specs, I could always have some organizations associated with it. You could take the smallest of the small item in your hand, an organization would be associated with it. So that is how organizations have become a part of it, and commerce also. So when I speak about commerce, we understand definitely it is trade and aids to trade. I'm not going to give any other lecture, but I'm just putting things together so we come to the issue very slowly. So we understand commerce, and commerce is definitely commerce and aids to trade, where I'm going to put all these aids together. But we definitely understand there is trade because there are human wants. If there were no wants, there would be no trade. So here we need to tell very clearly that wants are necessities, comforts, and luxuries. Needs and wants are so very vital for us. And when we understand, we need to understand the difference between needs and wants. Needs are definitely something that you really have in every individual, and wants could be extremely different. So this is a very interesting analogy where we understand the difference between needs and wants. So you please understand the difference between needs and wants. So everybody knows what is a difference. I've just put it in a very, humorous way. But one of the most powerful need is food. We understand this. In 1970, there was a plane crash, and there were survivors who lived for nearly 2 months on an in the mountains. They had absolutely no connectivity, and ultimately to survive they started eating human flesh because there were other people who were dead in that particular plane crash. So we definitely understand how food is so very powerful, extremely powerful. For 70 days no food, and last 14 survivors were there. Okay, so we definitely understand, because every time we say eating food, and particularly eating human flesh, is a taboo. There are certain other aspects also about food which have been discussed here. There is a tribe in Uganda who was forced to give up hunting and live on unfertile land, and that is how then the initial aspects went into food. And we also find sometimes children stealing food from other children, and the worst part, parents also stealing food from children. That is also coming as a pressing point when it is food. Let me give you another scenario where there was a lot of drought in Uttar Pradesh in India, and the poor people had absolutely nothing to eat. This was in 2015. So they started making rotis, that is chapatis, the basic staple food, made out of mud and grass. So we definitely understand what is this basic need. And only when needs are there, we have these needs into inventions. So needs are the basic motives behind every invention. I can go on with this, but that is not I'm going to focus on. But I shall focus on the present need, and that is technology. The present need is technology, and from there, we are having social entrepreneurship being also linked. Am I too fast?
Yes, I think you can go a bit slow. We have time, though it's late in India.
Yeah. Okay. No, I don't mind. Okay.
It's fine.
Okay. Yes. Just to keep you all engaged, let us have a small activity. Is it okay?
Fine.
You can keep your audio on. Everybody keeping your audio on. You can keep the audio on, not the video if you are not comfortable. If you're comfortable, you can put on your video also, no problem. Fine. I'll be saying numbers. You have to just add the numbers that I say. Okay? You have to give me the total at the end, not during the day in which I'm telling the numbers. There are 6 numbers that I will be saying, and you have to just tell the answer loudly. Is it okay? Are you all with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, we start with this activity. I'll be saying numbers. There are 6 numbers. You have to keep on adding them. And once I finish the 6 numbers, I will say total. You need to give me the total. Okay? Here we go. First number, 1,000. Okay? Add. I don't want you to add, on a computer. Please do it, using your mind. That would be nice. So first number is 1,000. Next, 30. Third number, 2,000. Add to that 60. Fifth number is 1,000. Add to that 10. Give the total.
4,100.
Huh?
I have
4,100.
Come on.
6,640.
How much?
5,000.
6,000. Okay.
4,100.
4,100. Can I know who is the saying 4,100? If I could get the name also.
4,100.
4,100. Oh, great.
4,120.
120. Okay, okay, okay.
Yes.
I'm so happy because you all are engaging with me, and that is more important than the right answer. Yes, the right answer is 4,100, which was right. I'll give you the numbers once again. So congratulations to the winners. Okay, so the numbers were 1,000, 30, 2,000, 60.
Oh, 30. I thought it's 50.
No, 60, 1,000, 10. That makes 4,100. Good, good, good. It's only to keep you all engaged. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So what did I say? The most important thing is there is technology, the latest need. Out of the various needs which are given, we cannot live without technology. Let me give you one small example here, because we are speaking about technology, we are speaking about commerce, and then I'll come to social entrepreneurship. This is the latest in technology, banking technology, and this is the finger ring banking. Okay, so let us see. Let us move on.
Forget the card. There's a new way to pay. It's called the Bankwest Halo, Australia's first payment ring.
It's an incredibly simple and convenient way to pay.
It works just like your bank card, but there's no fumbling for your purse or wallet. The waterproof ceramic ring has an inbuilt chip linked directly to your account. It will work wherever contactless payment is accepted.
So if you're out on a jog or you're surfing, you can always get that coffee and always have your money with you.
Just like regular tap and go, there's no need for a PIN for purchases under $100. The ring is available now, and Bankwest hopes its customers like the simplicity of it. But like anything new, only time will tell whether it proves popular or just another passing fad. Experts say the flip side to the convenience it offers is it could encourage people to spend more.
People are less conscious about small transactions, and in terms of this $4 for a coffee doesn't matter. If you do that every day of the week, every week of the year, it adds up. People don't think of every day of the year.
The ring has the same security features as your bank card with 24/7 fraud protection. And if you lose it, you can cancel it. Rob Scott, 7 News.
Yeah, that's the latest in banking. The future of trade next is virtualization, still more further ahead. So all these are the points that we can discuss in detail at a later stage. But the area that I come in is corporate social responsibility. And under that, we are moving on to the other area. This is the area which everybody is speaking on. There are various things associated with it. And we also understand that there are social problems. There are a lot of problems in society.
All right, well, I'm listening. Something's not right.
Okay. I am given here the scenario from the Indian perspective. Not everything is so bad. We are having poorest of the people in India, and we are having the richest of the rich. There's a big gap. But this is also a real picture, and it disturbs us a lot. So when there are pressing problems, social problems in India, can social entrepreneurship be an answer to it? This is the talk, and I shall be breaking certain myths that are involved in social entrepreneurship. And at last, I shall give you what try that I make and what went on in that particular area. Let me move on to social entrepreneurship. There are two kinds of people in this world: those who think and those who feel. I'm moving on to a person by name Krishna Deva, Madhuchandan Chikkadevaya. His name is Madhuchandan Chikkadevaya, who was a person who used to live in other countries, but then he left California. He came back to Karnataka in India and started working with farmers. And then he realized that he could be a backbone to them. And then he started an organization called as Organic Mandya. And in this organization, he had put a group of 270 farmers together, and then he put his own setup and employees. He gave employment, and he tried to solve two problems at a time. One is unemployment, and second one is, what do farmers do with the produce? They need to give it somewhere. So one organization brought all these people together and solved many problems. So this is one example of social entrepreneurship. And he says, I feel very proud to be a farmer today. I lead a very healthier life, a happier life, and I also encourage other people to go ahead. Now here I give you the unique characteristics of profit-oriented entrepreneur and social entrepreneur. So you definitely understand when I'm speaking about social entrepreneur, a person who is more involved with societal aspects, tries to bring a social change, a person who is a visionary, a person who is a change agent, and a person who is emotionally charged. That makes a unique characteristics of a social entrepreneur. But before I go to social entrepreneurship, let us understand entrepreneurship. It is a journey of opportunity. And usually you try to cash in on opportunity, make some profit for the value that you have created, and in return, social good also happens. But here, social good takes a second stage and profit takes the first stage. So here we understand entrepreneurs are pioneers, innovators, yes. But here we also need to understand every organization has this concept of CSR, corporate social responsibility. Added to CSR, there is also a concept called as ISR, individual social responsibility, where an individual is socially responsible and needs to be proactive towards the society and societal changes. Now, walking in the lines of individual social responsibility is a thought of social entrepreneurship, and that is how it has come into existence. Now, as given by Jane very truly, what is social entrepreneurship? Finding solutions to social problems. There are a lot of societal problems which I had given you at the earlier slide. But can I bring in a small change and try to bring a change in the society through the entrepreneurial activities? This concept is called as social entrepreneurship, where I try to bring solutions so that I could help society by bringing up best business techniques. Let me show you now exactly what is social entrepreneurship, how do we do it, and what it is. Okay, here we go.
With social and
One sec.
Today, with social and economic inequality growing worldwide, millions of people are connected by the idea that it is possible to do business on a human scale. That it is possible to make money and do something good for the community. That idea is called social entrepreneurship. Social entrepreneurship is a new and creative approach to business, social engagements, and social services. Today, there are numerous organizations operating worldwide and in our country that we call social enterprises. A social enterprise is just like any other business. Its work is charged at market rates and it generates profit. What makes it a business on a human scale is the way that profit is used. Profit serves to fulfill clear social missions. Social enterprises do not serve to enlarge the wealth of their owners or shareholders. They operate in order to contribute to social equality and improve the living conditions of people in the community. Generated profit is reinvested in the business for realizing social goals like job creation, social inclusion, cultural needs, healthcare, and preservation of the environment. Social enterprise places social goals ahead of increased profit, uses business as a means of social change, resolves social problems through market strategies. Social entrepreneurship is also a good way for civil society organizations that want to reduce their dependency on donor systems and gain greater financial and operational freedom. Starting a social enterprise is a challenge for all those to whom profit is not the only goal, who want a job that makes sense and has a purpose.
So this is all about social entrepreneurship. You definitely understand it than me giving a lecture. So we definitely know it is more towards moving on to self-sufficiency and being more dependent on one another, and it is trying to get out a problem of society and in that also make profit. So what is the motive of a social entrepreneur? It is actually achieving large-scale, systematic and sustainable social change. So the focus is on society, or either ecological value creation, and there is innovation of a product. Okay, I will be giving you another example here as to what really happens and how one small societal problem could be seen into a business activity. Okay, let us see this. Let us understand social entrepreneurship here again. Yes.
How to start a social enterprise. How do you go about starting a social enterprise? Don't you need a lot of business experience? Can a regular person really do this? Let's see. This is Amy. She's really concerned about the number of migrants who can't read basic English. She's also concerned about the number of elderly people in her community who are alone and lonely. Amy has a great idea to start a business that can fix these problems. A business that hires elderly people to teach basic reading skills to migrants. She knows that she needs to have some money in order to start the business. She needs capital literacy. Capital can mean money or things that Amy can use to start and run her business to make more money. Capital literacy will help Amy to understand, get, and use different forms of capital she'll need for the business. Amy writes out a business plan so that she can know how much capital she's going to need for the money she expects in return for her service. For example, she needs some books, maybe a minibus to take people to their lessons. Amy finds a team of people willing to help with the business. For example, she'll need elderly reading teachers, people to help her promote the business, maybe even a bus driver. Amy is now running a social enterprise. Remember, it starts with an idea to make a difference. A business plan, a team, and some determination.
So this is all about what social entrepreneurship is and what social entrepreneurs really do. I'll give you one or two real situations here and how social entrepreneurship has come in a big way. This is a big pressing problem, getting water from far away places. In some of the villages still in India, not everywhere, many places are developed, but there are so many places, still so many villages where even drinking water is a problem, a very big problem. In order to have a clean glass of drinking water, ladies have to walk miles and miles and get this one particular tub of water from different places. But here, this is a hippo roller, which is a vibrant idea where water could be bought and large amount of water could be bought in one particular walking. And I'm very sure it is also very much there in the African places also, in some of the countries in the African continent. And this has become a very big help. Okay, I move on to the next one. If you could see, this is another very big social entrepreneurial change. It is a tube which converts not so healthy drinking water into healthy drinking water in just a sip. You take water which is not very healthy, it is okay, because in certain places there is no healthy drinking water available. You just use this particular straw type thing, it's a pen, and then you drink this water, immediately you get clean drinking water. So societal problem is solved, a business opportunity gained. I will also give you a drinking water innovation here. It is a company called as Source, and see how they have come up with great ideas. Okay, so let's see this. So this is what we understand by the various concepts of social entrepreneurship. Before I go in further, can we also play a game again? Are you hearing me?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Yes, okay, okay. We play a game again just to keep us engaged. Fine. This is called as a number game. You can unmute yourself. You need not be on the screen. It is okay, up to you. If you are there, it's nice. I'm happy to see Dotan back again. So here we definitely have people engaged. I don't know the number of people who are there now. Okay, there are 26 participants. 26 participants. You need not go up till 26, but this is a number game where you just say 1 and the other person says 2, then another person says 3. On your own random choice. There is no numbers given. Anybody can start. Fine. But the rule of the game is there should not be 2 people saying the same number at once. If 2 people say the same number at once, we have to start from 1 again. So we can try 2 or 3 attempts. Is it okay?
Yes.
Yes, is it okay? Yes, okay. We will wait till till 10. We can wait up till 10, and then we need not go further. It is okay. Let us see. Fine. So we start with the game. At least let us try knowing this game. And anybody can start. Anyone can start. You can take up the number, but it should go in sequence. Only condition of the game is you should not repeat the number, or 2 people should not say the number immediately at once. Okay. Here we go. Jane, madam, if you could just start with 1.
2.
Jane, you should start with 1.
1.
Okay.
2.
Good.
3, 4.
Yes.
5.
6.
7.
8.
No, it's cut. 2 people cannot say it again. Okay, 2 people cannot say it a go. So let us start with 1 again. Dotun, could you please start?
1.
2. 3.
4.
5.
5.
No, there are 2 5s. There are 2 5s. No, once again, let us start. Anyone could start. John, if you could start.
1.
2.
1.
It's almost impossible.
It is possible. Let us try once again. Okay. We should cross the number 10. We should cross the number 10. Is it okay? Yeah. Who could do it for us? Who could start?
1.
Anyone can start.
2.
3.
4.
We're really bad at counting here.
Yeah. It's only to break the monotony. Till now, did you understand the concept of progression?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. One final try with the game. One final try. Who could start? Yes. So who could start with 1?
1.
2.
3.
3. That's
nice. You could use this game in your places, fine, particularly when you're engaging online, just to keep people interacted. Okay. I would ask another game, and that would be for Jane. Jane, are you with me?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So you know the participants, right? You can open the list of participants, and you can tell me the names who has the alphabet O in their names.
Oh my. Only oh my Duke I can see.
Yes, O. Not as a first name, in their entire name. Alphabet O.
I have Tina, Boer, Samuel Otto. I have Benson.
Yes.
I think that's all.
Okay. That's all. Dotan, if you could try.
I have Orefe.
Okay.
Sorry, I pronounced it wrongly.
Yes,
I have
anybody?
Dr. Fadei.
Okay.
I think I said.
That's nice. Literally, most of them have the name, the alphabet O, and that is why I chose that. Okay, but a great try, Jane. A really great try. Good, good. Fine. I'm now moving on to the second part, where we will be speaking about certain myths and beliefs which are associated with social entrepreneurship. Okay, a myth you definitely understand, it's a false belief. Let's try to break them. First one, all social enterprises will succeed. No, it is a myth. As other enterprises fail, there are certain chances social entrepreneurship will also fail. But here, there is an attempt made by Mr. Anil Kumar Gupta, who is a professor at IMA. He has a concept called as honeybee network. In this, he recognizes rural innovations, and to date, nearly 1 lakh ideas are promoted by this particular honeybee network. So it's good. As teachers, we can take this as a standing example. Second myth, social enterprises are generally small businesses. Need not be. There are very large enterprises. Giving you an example, called as Arvind Eye Hospital, started by Dr. G. Venkataswamy, called as Dr. V, has spread this Arvind Eye Care all over India, and by now 32 million patients are being attended, and nearly 4 million eye surgeries are conducted, most of them low cost or free. That is the power of social entrepreneurship at a large scale. Third myth, social enterprises rely on funds and grants alone. Need not be. I give you another standing example by Gloria Benny, who is a co-founder of a concept called as Make a Difference, MAD, M-A-D, Make a Difference. It is India's largest volunteer network. Here youth put their few hours in a particular week. It is actually not more than 1 hour per week, and they are helping millions and millions of people to pursue education. So this is a beautiful concept where without money you could have a social enterprise. Myth 4. Social enterprises should not run a real business. It's a pure myth, because actually real businesses turn out to be social entrepreneurs at a later stage. Myth 5. Social enterprises must not make profits. No, they must make, otherwise they cannot sustain in the long run. Myth 6. Social entrepreneurs should not pay salary. That is not possible. They have to pay salary. It has to go on. Myth 7. Social enterprises are not sustainable. No, they are sustainable. They have a long story to tell. Let me give you and introduce this person. If you could recognize this person, I'm not very sure if you can, but this fellow is called as a pad man of India. And why is it called so? He is Mr. Arunachalam. He is actually a school dropout and from a very poor family background. But he revolutionized the menstrual health of rural women by inventing machines to produce cheap sanitary pads. And with these cheap sanitary pads, which he offered for not less than 2 rupees per individual, he became one of the most influential person in the world in 2014 Time magazine. And he is a person who revolutionized everything, and now he is currently planning to expand his machines to 106 nations. This is what social entrepreneurship can do. Go for a cause as well as profitable. And this is where you're having a very interesting concept which has come through. But there is a beautiful movie also called as Padman, and you can understand what are the challenges he faced to be a social entrepreneur. Myth 8. Social entrepreneurs must have sufficient resources to start a venture. Need not be. With very little, they can start and grow into magnitudes. Let me give you an example of a person called as Madhu Pandit Dsouza. He actually studied in IIT Bombay. Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay. Then he moved on to a temple. He became a devotee and he went to the ISKCON temple, and they're running an enterprise which is even now there called as Akshaya Patra. Akshaya Patra means it is a vessel which never goes empty. And this is a scheme which feeds over 1 million children every day. Every day. And this is where they are having their cooking services and delivery services to different schools. So this is what social entrepreneurship can do. Next myth, social entrepreneurs must be tech savvy to educate and to start a social enterprise. Need not be. I'll give you a small example of Mr. called as Bindeshwar Pathak, who started something called as Sulabh Toilet Movements. This is a person who gave a big leap to the Indian society by constructing toilets all over the place and charging very little amount so that hygiene could be maintained in all over places, and he is earning millions now. Because it is only 1 rupee per person per day, but it is a huge population and it is possible. So two things are solved: a social enterprise giving a best advantage to society. Myth 9. Social entrepreneurs are usually run by middle-aged or elderly people. Age is never a factor here, neither gender. I'll give you an example of Karwa by Ashraf Patel, who runs a concept called as Fifth Space. Fifth Space focuses on transforming youth and building the leadership skills in these individuals. It's a social enterprise. Myth 10. Social enterprises operate only in healthcare and social care. No, they're there in tourism, they're there in agriculture, they're there in fashion, entertainment, housing, sports, every field. Myth 11. Social enterprise exists only in poor and developing countries. No, it is totally wrong. I give you a classic example of Ashoka, run by Bill Drayton. And this fellow in the US gives a very big foundation called as Ashoka Foundation, where there are so many fellowships being offered. And this is a classic example that even developed countries rely on social entrepreneurship. Myth 12. Social entrepreneurs must work in the society that they do not stay. No, it is for everyone by everyone. Myth 13. Social enterprises cannot solve complex business social problems. They have been solved. I give you an example of Muhammad Yunus. I'm very sure you've heard about this fellow who has changed the entire concept called as banking and microfinance in the country Bangladesh. And he also won the Nobel Peace Prize for his initiative of Grameen Bank in Bangladesh. So this is where we understand it can be a big changer. Next, social entrepreneurship must work on one issue at a time. No, not true. Many ideas could come. Giving an example of a person called as Bunker Roy, who runs a college called as Barefoot College. It's a barefoot college. You can understand what is a barefoot. They don't even have slippers to wear, and it runs in Asia and African. He helps thousands of people to see that remote villages are converted, and illiterate women and poor villages are having engineers, doctors, architects, and much more. So this is Bunker Roy on Barefoot College. So these were certain myths which are broken, and we understand that social entrepreneurship could be a very big game changer. I give you this lady who won the Social Entrepreneurship Award for her attempt on daily dump. That means she started collecting waste, segregating it, and she also won a Social Entrepreneurship of the Year award in 2015. So the journey has to move on, as what I told you. It has to continue. And if it has to continue, it is your duty, it is my duty that we have to put in various aspects. I told you today is India's Independence Day. And I'll give you one of the latest social entrepreneurship move in 2020. It is a company called as Paper Seed. It is a company placed in my city, Mangalore. And what they have done, they've used old newspapers. Using old newspapers, they've made paper pulp. They've added passion fruit seeds to it, and they have made eco-friendly flags and badges for Independence Day today. So tomorrow, when you don't want these, when you are going to dispose of these badges, when you want to dispose of these flags, these seeds go into the earth, and nice flowers and fruits, the plants would grow from it, and maybe fruits also, because it is made of passion fruit. So this is where the caption has come in yesterday's newspaper. This tricolor grows into plant. So this is a beautiful social initiative which is currently running in my place, Mangalore. Well, what can I do? What can you do? Small changes definitely would bring a very big impact. You need to understand here. We as academicians can bring in small changes. I'll tell you what I did. There was a small opportunity for me to give this insight of social entrepreneurship to the world. There was a big competition, and I participated in the competition as to what could be your innovative ideas to bring in social entrepreneurship and solve a problem. I gave out a problem on drinking straws. These particularly straws which were used to drink tender coconut are made out of plastic, and they're thrown in a single use. So here in this competition, I prepared straws using the leaf of coconut itself. And then I gave them very different innovative ideas of making stirrers using the bamboo stick. And all these ideas, and I won the second place in this entire international conference here, and I won a cash prize also for that. So this was something nice for me to share and to give to the outside world. When we speak about Mahatma Gandhi, when I come about independence, we speak on Mahatma Gandhi. And this particular person gave us 3 monkeys. I'm very sure you remember these 3 monkeys, The name is Mizaru, Mikazaru, and Mazaru. This monkeys speak about you see no evil, you hear no evil, you speak no evil. But in society, this is happening in a different way. I see nothing, I hear nothing, I say nothing. And if this is my societal reaction, I cannot spread that good news. It is just not possible. And that is why we need to improvise. But technology, as I told you, is the 4th current need. And this technology has brought in the 4th monkey also, who can neither see, who can neither speak, who can neither hear. And that's a sad part. So I call the 4th monkey WhatsApp. And this WhatsApp is becoming a real big problem because of WhatsApp. My WhatsApp has converted an ape there. Okay, we need to change. We need to change, and we need to build up an opportunity for ourselves. How do we do it? How do we go further? It's in our hands. But here we also need to know how much we can extend our aspects. Let me give you a small concluding video just to put in my thoughts. Let's observe. A person is working in the office late night, okay? Late night. So let us see what happens to him. Here we go. We definitely understand we are having a lot of opportunity, but we must know what is our limit in various places, because we have to bring in this change, and this change is possible in this concept of commerce. It is said, when the winds of change blow, some people will build walls and others will build windmills. What is my reaction? We need to understand. I started with society and commerce. There was a reason for it. Because when I speak about this concept of commerce and it being so much a part of society, this particular picture, it disturbs me a lot, very much. I'm sure it disturbs you too. There are two kids here. Who according to you is suffering more? Is it the girl or the boy there?
Probably the girl.
Probably the girl. Very true. Yeah.
The girl. I believe it's the girl.
Yeah, yeah.
The girl.
She's a very small child. She's a very, very small child. But you just imagine her burden there. You know, she has to take care of that younger boy. She has to, you know, see that he receives some food. It's very disturbing. It's very disturbing. So can commerce be an answer to it? Because we definitely need to understand the difference between equality and justice. Equality is this: if you could see, there are three people wanting to watch the match, and all the three people are given equal stands, equal stools. This is equality. And if we fight for equality, it is not right. We have to fight for justice. If we could see in the justice what is happening, the stool of the tallest person is given to the third person, and it is not equally divided, but it is given to who really requires. And that is a point that we need to work on and promote justice in society. And I'm very sure we can also do it as a team. So to conclude, we understand social entrepreneurship is a boon to society, and we can bring out great concepts or changes through our efforts in this particular concept of social entrepreneurship. And social enterprises can give good living, and they can really change the world the way the world runs. So commerce can make a better life, possible to bring a better life, and commerce is definitely a magic wand to make earth a better place, but it must be in the right hands. If it is in the right hands, we can really bring in that change. It was said by Nelson Mandela, we can change the world and make it a better place. It is in our hands to make that particular difference. With these words, I thank you for giving me this opportunity to put in my views. I'm open for queries. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Preethi. That was very educative. I think what is holding people back from becoming social entrepreneurs are the myths, most especially the profit bit about it. So now I open the floor to anybody who has a question or a comment. Anybody with a question?
Right, thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Preethi, for leading this conversation. It's quite unfortunate that in a lot of discussions that we see about business, discussions about commerce, we rarely talk about these issues. As Jane rightfully said, just because of the profit narrative, people pursue interests that gives them a profit. And that is the reason why in the 21st century, we still have societies where we have kids like the one you just showed. And people like us pass through these kids every day, and we have become blindfolded by the profit narrative. Most of professionals, most of the well-to-do people in society have become blindfolded by self-interest and by the pursuit of commerce without understanding broadly what commerce is all about.
Yes.
So we need to have more conversations about social entrepreneurs. And speaking from an African point of view,
yes,
people are talking much about entrepreneurship to make money. And they try then to manipulate. When I then see that kid, the two kids that you showed, I try to use these kids to make money. And this is the reality on the ground.
Yes, yes.
And we have issues of child labor happening from people who we look up to. And this is the society that we are living in. And we talk about entrepreneurship, we talk about self-enrichment. People are just looking up to themselves and they are manipulating society. Today, we have issues of climate change. And these issues are happening from noble people, people who should be contributing to the issue of addressing such concerns. So we have social concerns, and the understanding from your presentation today is that it is our responsibility to lead change with regards to social justice. And each and every one of us has a role to play in leading social change. And try to help people understand the profit narrative and commerce, that commerce is not about putting money in your pocket. Commerce is not about you having a fat bank account, but it's about solving social issues and helping society to move forward. So it's a responsibility for all of us to rethink entrepreneurship and help, especially the youth today, because they are being misled by some of these entrepreneurship trainers who come to entrepreneurship discussions just to talk profit and not helping the youth understand business and the whole subject of entrepreneurship. So we have to take this responsibility and ensure that we preach entrepreneurship that addresses social issues and that promotes social justice. Thank you so much.
Very true said, Sir Justin, very true said. One of my requests, a sincere request with the people here, there are so many in the team, 80 plus, the current status says 86 or something. If each one could change the life of one student who is from an economically background place, one, just one, I'm not asking for more, change life of one student, another 10 years, 86 lives could be changed. And in this 86 lives, 86 families would change. That is the real concept which we as teachers could do. We may not be able to start an enterprise, not everyone. But if you could change one student's life from an economically background place, then we could bring a maximum change is what I feel. Please consider this request. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Preethi, for the very insightful presentation and well delivered lecture.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, the entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship that focuses on business, all have the role they play in the economy, in every economy. But I have a question that I need you to clarify. It appears there's a thin line between social responsibility and social entrepreneurship. And when do we draw this line? When do we draw this thin line?
Okay. The concept between corporate social responsibility and social entrepreneurship. These are two different varied points, but when did they come together is what I shall say. When enterprises started and when they started doing business, you need to understand that organizations do not live in vacuum. They are a part of society, and since they are a part of society, they take the resources from society, they give it to the society, and in this entire conversation, they make profits. When the profits are on a higher note, at a later stage, even in the government of India, it is said 2% must go for corporate social responsibility. This is a compulsion part. But what we are speaking is, when you're starting an organization, if you could start an organization which caters to 2 points. One, you are having profitability, no doubt. But in this entire profitability concept, if you could solve one social problem, then we can definitely move into this concept of social entrepreneurship. So in corporate social responsibility, you make profits and then utilize the money for societal needs. In the concept of social entrepreneurship, you start the business by taking into consideration that you are trying to tackle a social cause in the very initial stages. And that is why I spoke about individual social responsibility. And individual social responsibility has made a path to social entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurship. Is it clear, sir?
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
Thank you, sir.
I'll just add to that. If we look at the historical background of the two concepts that Dr. Chijoke is asking, corporate social responsibility started in the 1940s as a way to address the issues that were happening in organizations.
Yes, sir.
Sorry. And then the issue of corporate social entrepreneurs came as a result of the corporate community model that started around the 1980s. I will mute people for a while, then I will unmute when you want to speak. So we have the corporate social responsibility model of the 1940s and the corporate community model of the 1980s. And the corporate community model says we are one. And business and society are one, and businesses have to contribute to solve social issues. But issues of social justice have been in existence since the period of 1940s. When you talk of scientific management, Fayol and Weber, people were being abused by organizations. But now social entrepreneurship is saying, we are one, let's solve social issues, and let's have organizations partaking in solving social issues in that respect.
Okay, Dr. Preethi, thank you very much for this brilliant insight.
Thank you, sir.
Myth 4, 5, and 9. Social enterprise must not run or make profit. Number 9, social enterprise must be sustainable. I didn't get that right, sustainable. Now, let me take Nigeria as a typical sample so that you can help me. Of recent, we are having quite a number of Nigerians on the list of Forbes, the top African men, the most richest man in Africa, you have that. Correspondingly, poverty is also on the high side in my country. And most of these organizations that should help or claim to be helping, still try as much as possible to compete to be on the Forbes list rather than solving social problems. Again, I was into their own pockets, buying properties in abroad, building houses, and not tackling the social problems in the land. My question now is, how do we collaborate, or how do we create more awareness so that we are not just driven by being recognized on the Forbes as the richest person in Africa or richest person in Nigeria? Rather, we can advocate for solving social economic problems where we are highly impoverished as a result of little people who are highly rich and millions who are suffering. Thank you.
What you said was truly right, sir. There is a very different world that we live in. We need to understand a fact. The fact is, 95% of the population live on 5% of the richest in the world. And 5% of the population live on, gather, accumulate 95% richest in the world. This is a very true statement, and it is the world that we live in. It's very devastating if we don't change and make this an equal playing ground. Actually, it is very difficult, but somewhere a change should start. And how do we bring this change? We cannot go and advise such people but it should be a feeling that should come from within. I give you an example of an Indian corporate. I'm very sure you've heard about Wipro. Wipro is one of the company, and we are having a person who is taking care of this. He is actually #1 in India when it comes to taking care of people around. But if he stops doing his CSR activity, he'll become the world's richest person. But he doesn't want that title. He doesn't want that title of being the world's richest person. He wants to have a title called as he is being very encouraging and supportive to the societal causes. If people could think in these lines, only big people who are having all the resources can think on these lines, then things would change. We are having a very interesting mentality. I have one house, I want the second house. When I have a 2-bedroom, I want it to be converted into a 3-bedroom. It is I. And that is why we said, if I cannot change this 5% of the population, it's difficult because they want to be rich, let them be rich. I cannot do it. It is you and me who could make small change in one person's life, and a big voluminous change would definitely come. And it is we who have to do it. And maybe looking at us, they would change one day. We never know. It would be possible.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Do we have anybody else with a comment or a question before I hand over to Dr. Justine?
Yes, there is Adedayo Olawi.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone.
Yes, sir.
My question is a little bit similar to. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, my question is a little bit similar to what Dr. Jegede just asked. And I want to ask question around values.
Yes.
Now, what is the place of personal and corporate value in achieving the goal of social entrepreneurship? That's my first question. Then my second question is that if you find yourself in an organization that has good corporate values, but on paper, it does not reflect on meeting the needs, rather making profit. So how, as an agent of change, how do you go about this to help the organization and also to help yourself not to fall away from your personal values?
Yeah, a very nice, encouraging statement, sir. But it is a fact what you have given. It is there. It is there everywhere. First thing is how values are important and what is their role in social entrepreneurship. Let me put this in a statement called as values differ from person to person. What is good for me may not be good for you. Okay? What is right for me may not be right for you. And we need to also understand, if I think from the organization perspective, what is right from the organization's perspective is not right from the individual's perspective. I'll give you one small example to it. If I am traveling every day to my workplace, which is say around 20 kilometers from my house, and in the middle there is another person going to the same workplace, okay, and the person will every day ask a lift with me to come and to go back. After 5 days, what will I do? Tell me, as you know, genuine human being, what will I do after 5 days? Because I don't want that person to come with me. It is really disturbing for me. What will I do? I will either change my time.
Asking for money.
Yeah, ask him for money, okay. But you know, you're very, very close to the person, so you cannot ask money. It becomes very difficult. Okay, you'll ask money, fine. If he refuses, oh, very nice. Yeah, you would change the route, or you would change the time of your travel. I would also do it. You know, I would also do it. This is individual in nature. But what do companies say? What do the societal say? You must do carpooling. You must do all these things. So what is individually good is societally not right. What is societally good individually, it doesn't work. So here when we speak about the concepts of values, sir, it differs from person to person. But if you're very strong in your values, where you start up a social enterprise, and when you live for it, then obviously people would follow. That is where I comment on the first part. The second one, you said you will have a very strong organization, and it says that all the values which you intend to live are on paper and not on practice. So as a change agent, what would you do? If you are a person in that organization on a level where you can make these policies into practice, then please put in that effort. And if you are a true leader, you would have followers supporting you. But if you cannot bring in that magnitudinal change, a minor change would definitely make things better for us. So this is where, as a change agent, if you are having that particular point in society where you can bring in a magnitude change, I really encourage it. But if you are not in a position to bring that change at a very big level, minute changes will definitely bring in major waves of change, is what I see. Thank you.
Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Right, we have 3 hands up. I see Galaxy S8, Galaxy S8, then Tsitsi, then Samuel. Galaxy S8, can you unmute yourself?
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Preethi. My name is Shegun Ojaro, today speaking from Nigeria. I also appreciate your submission on the topic of the day. You've really treated it excellently.
Thank you.
I just want to make my own contribution in line with the myth you share on social entrepreneur not making profits, something like that. I really appreciate all those 9 or 10 myths you share. And to just add my own view, we understand there are 3 types of entrepreneur. We have the social entrepreneur, we have the classic entrepreneur, we have the spiritual entrepreneur. And I classify the non-governmental organizations under this social entrepreneur we are looking at today. But one thing is key, when we are talking about entrepreneur, we are talking about innovation, we are talking about bringing ideas to turn things around. 3 of them, whether social, classical, or spiritual, they need to have the skills and quality of an entrepreneur in order to turn things around. But our emphasis is on social entrepreneur, solving social problems, which we see as non-governmental organizations. But we still need to understand that in the long run, the social entrepreneur also make profit, because one of the qualities or one of the characteristics of an entrepreneur is in the long run, they all make profit. But the routes they follow are quite different. A social entrepreneur started with a sacrifice of starting with his own vision, own dream of solving societal problems. He uses his resources, he uses his time, he uses those things he has. And when he's genuine doing this, people will support the vision. People will support the dream. And in the long run, like in Nigeria, like Dr. said, you see, I did a research sometimes ago, 2 years ago. We have more than 46,000 non-governmental registered organizations in Nigeria. Out of these 46,000, you will find out that only 10% are functioning, because 90% register with the aim of embezzling money, of eating money, of getting the money to just, you understand what I mean? But their missions as a social entrepreneur, they are not supposed to be running like a classical entrepreneur, which are business oriented. A lot of NGOs started with the mission to help, to assist, to solve societal problems. But check it out, in few years, by the time you support them, they run away with the money. We had the case of a guy trying to provide medical fee for a sick person in the hospital. And the medical fee is about, less than $1,000. And he came on air for people to support, and people supported. Before you know, more than $10,000 came from different places. You know that this guy abandoned this sick man in the hospital and he ran away with the $10,000. You see, so the evil intention in the long run make people to see every entrepreneur as a profit-making organization, even when you are operating a social entrepreneur, because of the bad intention that some people have really created. In Nigeria, we believe that you started as a social entrepreneur, doing everything free, supporting humanity. In the long run, there is a department in Nigeria called SCOOM under EFCC, Economic and Financial Crime Commission. People will use social entrepreneur to launder money because social entrepreneur don't pay tax. People don't put eyes in social entrepreneur and spiritual entrepreneur. For example, we believe as a pastor, you will not do anything illegal. As a social entrepreneur that you are solving humanity problem, you will not do anything illegal. But people use these two sets of entrepreneurs to launder what? To launder money. We just had a case in Nigeria about $378 million that a spiritual entrepreneur was used. You know, they paid the money as offering, whereas the money was withdrawn in the backside for another intention. So what am I trying to say in summary? Social entrepreneur is very, very good to solve societal what? Problem. But we must have a good intention. You must be transparent. Honesty must be part of your key factors. I can assure you in the long run, you will get support and you will even be more better than a classical entrepreneur. If you have this background, if you have this motive at the initial level. Because to be honest with you, I did a program sometimes ago, a free program. Social, like what you are doing right now is a social entrepreneur. You are sharing your idea with us. This idea we're supposed to pay for. Already now you are touching humanity. Already now you are solving a problem. I did that type of a program sometimes ago with my own resources, with everything. Do you know that I keep doing it on radio, doing it in the hub in different ways? And one day somebody walked to me and like he wants to sponsor the program. Surprisingly, the program I'm organizing with less than $500. Somebody come up to be sponsoring with about $3,000 because I've laid the foundation. I've showed the evidence of transparency. I've been doing this thing over and over. They've seen the genuinity. They've texted me. They follow me up through different means, even unknown to me. And in the long run, what am I trying to say? I was happy that I was doing it because in the long run, I was even using it to meet other needs. And I wasn't feeling the pain. Initially, I was feeling the pain. But later on, when people see the genuinity, they begin to support. They begin to support. They begin to support. And I was getting better off. Even
Thanks,
doing
Dr.
it.
Segun. Thanks, Dr. Segun. We'll cut you there. Dr. Preethi can respond that quickly. We have two other hands up.
Yeah, no, he was just sharing his his experience that in the long run, everybody will make profits. And if there are certain people taking advantage of the situation now, well, we have to be a little careful. And we need to differentiate between NGOs and social entrepreneurs. Thank you.
Thank you. Tsitsi, Madam Tsitsi.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Preethi. I really appreciated how you brought in the issue of individual responsibility, because I think many times we really want the corporates to do something when us as individuals, even when we have capacity, we are like laying back. But my question is, how do we ensure that our social efforts that we are making actually empower the people? Because many times I think we end up with situations where the people actually then are just waiting to be helped. The whole exercise doesn't empower them, such that when whatever they are benefiting or whatever is being given to them, when it's withdrawn, they just remain like that. They are like worse off. So I just wanted us maybe for you to just help us. How do we ensure that in the same vein, we are actually empowering those people? Thank you.
Yes, Madam Preethi, it is nice to speak to you after a little long time. Hope all is well with you. Thank you for the question. It is nice you said, how do I ensure that all the social efforts that are being put by an enterprise, by an organization, actually empower people? Well, please don't put in mind that when you are running a social enterprise, everything is drifting. If you could put your social enterprise, whoever is starting it, as a real business line and keep everything as disciplined as you have in classical entrepreneurship, then you will definitely see at the end, actually people are empowered. But please don't drift saying that I am a social enterprise, and since I'm a social entrepreneur, it is okay for me to do this, to leave out this. No, you please run the enterprise exactly as the way in which you are running a normal enterprise. But ultimately, your objective is societally good from day one. So if you are very systematic and disciplined, 100% sure your social efforts will ensure that people are empowered at a later stage. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, Mr. Samuel.
All right. Good day, everyone.
Good day.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Preethi, for the session.
Thank you, sir.
I want to come in from this angle. If one's value does not align with what the person is venturing into, how does the venture actually go to be a sustainable one? What do I mean? Maybe for
you mean that you are a person who wants to start a social enterprise, but your value is not,
Yes, but the person is not an educated person and he wants to go into maybe providing maybe a school.
Yes.
You know, he wants to set up a school for people that, because he didn't have that privilege of going to school for a formal education, and he wants to now venture into that part, that education, educational sector. How does the person go about it? That's my question.
Beautifully asked question, sir. Beautifully asked question. But we need to understand that there are so many social enterprises which are running purely on these lines. Let me give you one classic example which is happening just in my neighborhood. There is a person called as Hassan Abba Aja. He is a Muslim fellow from a very, very, very poor background. He has no education at all, but he sells fruits and vegetables on the roadside, and all the profits that he has made, he had kept a part of it separate from day one, and now he has a very big school in his name, and he is absolutely uneducated. There is a school which is even now running just next to my university. There is a school, and now looking at his good work, everybody has come further. Even my government has come further, and you know, everybody is sponsoring him. The best part, he's had so many awards. To keep that award, he doesn't have a house. He has built a school and he doesn't have a house. Now, to keep that awards in a particular room, another person has come forward and they are constructing another house and a small room for him to place all the awards that he has got. This is what a real social entrepreneurship can do, sir. If you are right, you will have followers, but you have to do it with will and determination.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't see any other hands. Please raise your hand. I will ask Dr. Makuku. She shared earlier on during the week about the same subject. Dr. Makuku, in just 2 minutes, your understanding of social entrepreneurship. And I need to see some hands. Dr. Makuku.
Thank you very much, Doc, for the opportunity. And I'm sorry I joined a bit late. I went out a bit. But what I want to say also is that the most painful aspect is that we seem to be seeing that those who have got goodwill and want to do very good things, in the end, seem to be pulled on the side of those who do not want to do the genuine things. So what I'm saying is we really need to be vigilant. As for me, those who have dealt with me closely, They know that. And I tell people that there are certain principles of mine which I will never change. For example, people know I'll never call a spade a spoon. No. And sometimes there's no need of beating about the bush about an issue. I just go about to it straightforward, because sometimes there's no need to go around like that. But let's look at the issue of social justice, social entrepreneurship. I liked the person who brought this subject, because when we say entrepreneurship, the problem which I always see is that people always have a limited understanding of concepts. And when we talk about entrepreneurship, immediately most people think about businesses and getting profits and selling something. But no, it's more than that. You can just serve your community, improve your society. That's why last time even I talked about community engagement, because I was trying to show that other than charging and doing things for the community for a fee, you can go another dimension, work with the community to improve those communities and make a difference. And you know, for me, it's the issue of nothing other than impact and impact and impact. You know, even for those in business, we also need to plow back to the communities. I don't know how many of us do that, but do you know the moment you do that once, customers get attached to you and they come for your product, because they know now if we even go and buy from him, sooner or later, him or her will come back and plow back to the community. In the interest of time, I know people have got a lot to say, but my almost 3 take homes is that entrepreneurship is broad, including social entrepreneurship. And I'm very happy about this subject today to show us the other dimension. Number 2, let's maintain our integrity. Even if you remain as a single person, please just maintain, don't be taken away. And then the third one, I can't remember what it is. Let's also check on our values and continue to do the social entrepreneurship. I thank you for this subject. Very important. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Violet. We have 2 ladies from the banking sector. I will ask Yvonne and Wimbai to just in 1 minute. Yvonne, Wimbai, and Oriefe, if I'm not mistaken, you are a student. I will need you to also contribute. We have about 14 minutes. Yvonne, Wimbai, then Oriefe, and Mr. Victor, you work with Young Africa. I will ask you also to comment, and if from Botswana, I will ask Emmanuel to comment as well as we wrap out in the next 13 minutes. And if you have anything to contribute, please raise your hand so that we cover everybody. I'll start with Yvonne from the banking perspective.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Justin, and thank you, Dr. Preethi, for a great presentation on social entrepreneurship. My contribution is to say it has just come into my mind that there are people within our community, mostly of Indian descent, who put up taps outside their homes linked to their boreholes, and they allow members of the community to come and collect water anytime. The only time that the community is not able to access that water is when there's no electricity, and when it is deep in the night. So from what I'm seeing is this is quite a noble initiative, which mostly comes from the Indian community, but I've noticed a few other people initiating the same outside of Indian community. I don't know whether Dr. Preethi, you could advise if something that is peculiar or promoted in the Indian culture. But from a banking perspective, I think that also then presents an opportunity say even for funding people that have got such type of inclination to serve the community in such a way by supporting initiatives to drill boreholes for those that would require them as a CSR intervention. That would be my comment. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comment, Mark. Yeah, it was true what you said. Helping one another is everyone's nature, not only Indians as such. But yeah, we have shifted our focuses a little bit. Everybody has become self-centered. We need to come out a little bit and do social good, even if we are not entrepreneurs. It will definitely add value.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Wimpai.
Thank you, Doc. And thank you, Dr. Preethi, for the very inspiring presentation. We've been very much inspired. I would like to speak maybe from my organization as a bank. I think someone mentioned that there seem to be, some similarities between corporate social responsibility and social entrepreneurship. So I've also from this presentation, I've gathered also just looking at my organization, how that we've also programs of CSR that we've been carrying out. But from this presentation, I've taken note of the examples, and especially from the myths that were presented by Dr. Preethi. I realized how that we can, as an organization, maybe borrow from what has been presented. And thank you for that. This has been recorded. So I'm going to ask kindly that if you can borrow from what has been presented, then I can also present these examples to my organization so that we can take our CSR into another dimension of the leg of social entrepreneurship. And as an individual as well, I've been really, really inspired, how that even without much capital, but just with the passion, I can make a difference in my community, and I'm going to take it upon myself to make that difference. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Oriefe Odeumi, if I'm not mistaken, you are a student. I think the audio is off for now. Mr. Emmanuel. Emmanuel, yes.
Thank you so much. Let me say thank you to Dr. Preethi for this wonderful presentation here today that you shared with us. Because as you may realize, a lot of people here are calling themselves social entrepreneurs, but I'm happy I wished those people could be here today. But I believe now we are going to be the change agents, that we are going to spread the ways that Dr. Preethi shared with us. I would like to add something on the question that Samuel Osho posed here on the issue of education. There's here, I think in terms of social entrepreneurship, sometimes the education level, it doesn't have to be that much of you going to high institutions of learning or those bigger schools, universities, and having to graduate with something. It's a case of you now having the craft or the idea that you can do now, that you can now turn into either change a problem or you change now to become profit, or you profit from that particular craft that you have. For example, in 2017, I worked with some organization. It's called This Hands here. It's called This Hands organization here in Botswana. The goal was to reach out to villages or individuals in villages now, maybe who are doing basketball, who are now doing painting. They are good in crafting the woodwork. So we trade those people now. We work with them. We do skills training. We do creative capacity building. How do we do this? Now we come collectively. We engage this now institutions that provide educational trainings to come train these people. And then recently we entered into a partnership agreement with Lesego. It's a financial institution here in Botswana. we are now mentoring youth innovators. So what I'm saying is this: the education level, sometimes it doesn't matter. What matters is you having the idea. What do I have here? I know I can make plates, but I don't know how to monetize from this. Or I don't know how to make this project a bigger project. So we now come there on board to help these individuals learn, profit from their individual craft or skills that they have. That is what I wanted to add from this presentation. Otherwise, I think you all here.
Very true, sir, is what you said. It is very simple. First, we need to ideate, initiate, implement. Please don't wait for all the things to be there, every information to be there, and then start. No enterprises start like that. You just start and other things would fall in place. So ideate, initiate, implement. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Yes. Dr. Violet, you are saying something?
Yes, I wanted to say also, sometimes, we have got students here who may not even have businesses, and other people who are on our group. Take, for example, a person like me. I don't have a business, but what I've also done is that where I was staying before I moved to this new place, the roads were so bad leading to my children's school. The school is very good. The community is a well-up community, but the roads, and nobody took action to make sure we improve our roads. I just went, so I'm supporting what has just been said by the moderator. So I went to buy like 10 bags of cement, and I worked with my children and auntie, because my car also was being affected. When my children go to school, they were being affected. So I started the patching of the road. Before I realized it, some people left me money, some people got me cement. At the end of the day, it brought a very, very good, again, it's still social entrepreneurship, although I don't own a business. So I want to support her for what she has just said.
Perfectly right, madam.
Yes, Mr. Victor, we have 4 minutes.
Thank you, Doc. I hope you can hear me. I haven't tested my
Sure.
Okay, thank you. So I was trying to tie in your initial presentation with what Dr. Preethi then presented. Thank you, Dr. Preethi, for the presentation. So there are kind of values that you mentioned, and you mentioned emotions. And Dr. Preethi also mentioned that in the world we have people who think and those who feel. She also indicated that social entrepreneurs are emotionally charged. And I think it's about instilling those values in the people that you would want to work with, like what Dr. Makuku has just indicated, that you influence others around you so that they also share the same vision that you would have and the things that you want to achieve. I've been looking at the organization that I work with, and I feel that the originators of the co-founders seem to have had this idea of social entrepreneurship, because the target group of people that we work with, or the people that we would want to benefit more, are those who are vulnerable. But this is a school, and the concept behind is that we employ, or we offer space for business persons to come in and train other poor people or vulnerable students. From the expertise that they have, they pass those on to the community in a way that does not really make them remain with huge profits, but in a way that generally supports the other students in the community to benefit. So, but my take here is that for this to be sustainable, for this to continue, people who are around the co-founders and the employees of the organization have to be like-minded. Otherwise, the vision of the organization will not be met. So I think that is what I would want to share.
Thank you. Thank you. Ogo Maduka. Ogo Maduka, then I would ask Mr. Salau to close this session. Ogo.
Okay, I'm supposed to make a contribution.
Yes.
Okay. What Dr. Preethi talked about concerning the man that was selling fruits and vegetables, and also use the profits, part of the profits there to start a school. It got me thinking, that if somebody who's just a man who's just trying to make ends meet can do that, then I think we should expect more from our governments, and it's just unfortunate because most of our governments are being headed by a bunch of selfish characters. So it's really, really sad. But at the end of the day, I also think that a topic like this, like social entrepreneurship, should be something that should be introduced to not even just the higher institutions. I'm thinking even from the primary school level, and get our students thinking, and even if possible, get our students involved in mini projects. There are children out there below the ages of 10 who own their own businesses. So topics like this I feel should be introduced, and to get our the little students to be aware that these kind of things can be put out there with their ideas. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I see your hand
A very
up
nice
from,
thought,
Dr.
ma'am.
Faith.
A very nice thought, which is very true. And sometimes even people, students at the graduate and postgraduate level have not heard the concept of social entrepreneurship. That's the sad part.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you so much. Dr. Faith, I see your hand up. Dr. Faith, can you unmute yourself? As we wait for Dr. Faith, Mr. Salau, as we try to close. Yes, Dr. Faith.
Okay.
Right. Dr. Faith, can you go first? All right, Mr. Salau.
Hello, I would like to appreciate Dr. Preethi. She has delivered a fantastic topic. What touched me is the three concepts she mentioned: ideate, initiate, and implement. I think it should go around. We should try to impart in our community, wherever we find ourselves, so that we can really show that this concept of social entrepreneurship is a key one to help our government. Where I come from in Nigeria, you just have to key into social entrepreneurship so that you can help governments and help our community. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Faith, are you ready? Yes, please, go ahead. Unfortunately, we can't hear you. We can't hear you, Dr. Faith. Jane, can you take us up as we close?
Hello?
Yes, Dr. Faith.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes, 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 yes.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Now, my question. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Preethi, for the presentation. My question is about on this social entrepreneurship. Now, I've witnessed a scenario whereby who wanted to construct a road, like 10-kilometer roads, but he faced the problem from the community. So they charged him that before you can construct this road, you have to settle the elders in the community. So in the end, he was prevented from carrying out the good job he wanted to do. So when we face such a problem in the process where you are trying to render your own social entrepreneurship, but you face order from the community or from from another source, preventing from carrying out such good intentions, how will you go about it?
Justin, so if you could just help me out, I could not get the question clearly.
The question is, there's a person who was trying to
construct
a road,
Okay.
but there was a requirement for him to compensate kind of the elders in the community, and it became a burden to this person, so much like that he did not do this good work that he intended to do.
Okay. So he means that there is no support from others?
Yes.
From the community, yes.
Okay. Yes, sir. That's what I told you. If you're thinking of a social enterprise, because this is social good is what you're speaking on, you're speaking about a responsibility as a human being or maybe as a citizen to do it, which is not coming in lines with social entrepreneurship, but maybe a social cause. Whenever we stand for social causes, we'll have certain people following us, certain people not following us. But if you want to do it and you know that in the long run it would give you returns, please go ahead. You don't wait for other people to support you. You just go ahead, because you did not start it waiting for the other person to come and support you. If you have started to finish off a job, you try to finish off. I'm very sure at the end people will know why did you do it and why did you really start the venture.
Okay, Dr. Doughton, you will close the session. You will close the session after Jane, so you can give your remarks and then close. Dr. Chijoke, we see the birthday boy. Yes, I'll come to you as you close. You just close everything and say that. Dr. Chijoke, we see the birthday boy there. Are you the birthday boy? Yes. Okay, Jane, can you wrap up? Then Dr. Preethi can give the closing remarks, and Dr. Doughton will wrap everything up.
Okay, thank you once more, Dr. Justine. Thank you all for the comments and the questions. We can all agree that our take home is that we can make a difference in our communities, and it does not require a lot. We should ideate, initiate, and implement. We should stop thinking about popularity. That's the fourth monkey that Dr. Preethi told us about. And we should think about humanity, a social cause. Let's make our difference in our communities. That's all for me.
Dr. Preethi, your last remarks.
Yes. Being into the academic field or any other field, we need not be entrepreneurs to run for us towards a social cause. Very simple is, as an individual, if I can make life of another individual a little more better, then purpose of mine being as a human being would be easy and served. So this is a small gentle reminder. Each one, take one and make life of another person better, a little comfortable. As you want to treat others to treat you, please treat others, and the world will be a better place to live in. We will do this small activity and things would be definitely better. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you everyone for the queries, for the comments, and for the contributions that you have made, and for this wonderful opportunity to put in my ideas on social entrepreneurship. Thank you so much.
Dr. Doughton.
Oh, thank you very much. Once again, we are very glad, we are very happy to have Dr. Preethi around. Dr. Preethi is an assistant professor who has been a crusader for social change, a human resource expert as well, who has delivered quite a number of papers in international environments. And we are glad that once again, we have been blessed with such an insightful opportunity. And to everyone here present from Nigeria, from Zimbabwe, from Kenya, from Ghana, from Nigeria, from Dubai, and from every other part of the world, we are very much happy to have you around. And I have no doubt in my mind that you have been tremendously, impacted. At OLDN, we ignite insightful conversations. We critique, we review, we brainstorm. we learn, and our aim is to ensure that every single member and participants are empowered to become an agent of change in their own self, in their own family, in their own community, in their own workplace, and in their own country. We are very much happy, and if you have not joined us, we'll be very glad to discuss with you after this session how you can become a member of OLDN. Wherever you are in the country, we have international directors in quite a number of countries that represent OLDN, and you can also contact our headquarters for details. We'll be here to support you with our vision, our mission, with our various services. Again, we'll be here next week again at the same time to have a new session that will be hosted by Mr. Emmanuel from Botswana, where we shall be talking about something very insightful, and also the line of our program for the year, we shall avail it to you. Once again, thank you for coming, and questions, comments after there, you can please bring it on the platform, and I'll be glad to hear and to listen from you. Thank you once again, Dr. Justin, the founder and the director of OLDN. OLDN also has associate partners like OLD Quarterly, where we publish articles on periodic basis, and they are also part of the code. The code is the Center for Organization and Leadership Development, which is the consultancy arm of the institute. Once again, we look forward to seeing you next time. Join us again, and let's brainstorm together. It could be you the next time, and when you are called upon, please feel free to add value too, because in Holdi, it is a multidisciplinary functions and an environment where everybody can add value in their various field of endeavor. Once again, thank you very much, and have a good weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. And yeah,
thank you, Doc. Thank you, Doc Preethi.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I've also learned a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Nice. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.